Hi, James. It's me, Grandpa. Hey, guess what time it is? It's story time. And I have another story for you today, and it's called The Cunning Little Tailor. Cunning means really smart. Okay? So I'm going to play that for you now, and then I'll talk to you afterwards. I hope you really like the story. All right. Bye bye for now. Enjoy the story. The Cunning Little Tailor by the Brothers Grimm. There was once on a time a princess who was extremely proud. This particular princess had a riddle she thought no man was smart enough to solve. She let it be made known that whosoever solved her riddle should marry her, no matter who he was. Now the princess was very smart and very beautiful, and many men wanted to marry her. She gave each one a chance to solve the riddle. No one had solved it yet, and many men had been sent rudely away. At length, 3 tailors, tailors, by the way, are people who like to sew clothing, fell in with each other. The 2 oldest thought they had done so much wonderful work successfully that they could not fail to succeed at this also. The 3rd was a poor little man who was just learning how to sew, but thought he just might have some luck in this adventure, because how else do you get lucky unless you try? Then the 2 others said to him, "Just stay at home. You cannot do much because you aren't even very good at sewing yet." The little tailor, however, did not let himself be discouraged, and said he had really been thinking about this riddle for a while, and he would manage well enough, so he went forth as if the whole world were his. They all 3 announced themselves to the princess, and said she was to announce her riddle to them, and that they were the right persons to solve it, for they had understandings so fine that they could be threaded in a needle. Then said the princess, "I have 2 kinds of hair on my head. Of what color is it?" "If that be all," said the first, "it must be black and white, like the cloth, which is called pepper and salt." The princess said, "Wrongly guessed, let the second answer." Then said the second, "If it be not black and white, then it is brown and red, like my father's company's coat." "Wrongly guessed," said the princess. "Let the third give the answer, for I see very well he knows it for certain." Then the little tailor stepped boldly forth and said, "The princess has a silver and a golden hair on her head, and those are the 2 different colors." When the princess heard that, she turned pale and nearly fell down with terror, for the little tailor had guessed her riddle, and she had firmly believed that no man on earth could discover it. When her courage returned, she said, "You haven't quite won me yet. There is still something else that you must do. Below in the stable is a bear. You must spend the night with it, and when I get up in the morning, if you are still alive, then I will let you marry me." She expected, however, that this would be an easy way to get rid of the tailor, for the bear had never left anyone alive who had even come close to it. The little tailor did not let himself be frightened away, but was quite delighted and said, "Boldly ventured is half won." When the evening came, our little tailor was taken down to the bear. The bear was about to viciously attack the little fellow right away and give him a hearty welcome with his claws, but the little tailor said, "Softly, softly, I will soon make thee quiet." Then quite calmly, and as if he had not a care in the world, he took a walnut out of his pocket, cracked the shell, and ate the nut inside. When the bear saw that, he was seized with a desire to have some nuts too. The tailor felt in his pockets and gave the bear a handful. They were, however, not nuts, but pebbles. The bear put them in his mouth, but could get nothing out of them, no matter how hard he tried to bite.
Thought he, "what a stupid blockhead I am. I cannot even crack a nut."
And then he said to the tailor,
"Here, crack me the nuts."
There, see what a silly fellow you are," said the little tailor, "to have such a great mouth and not be able to crack a small nut." Then he took the pebble and secretly switched it with a nut. He put the nut in his mouth in the place of the pebble, and crack, it was in two.
"I must try this thing again,"
said the bear.
"When I watch you, I then think I ought to be able to do it too."
So the tailor once more gave him a pebble, and the bear tried and tried to bite into it with all the strength of his body. But everyone knows that you cannot bite a pebble in two, no matter how big and strong you are. When that was over, the tailor took out a violin from beneath his coat, and he played a nice little song to himself. When the bear heard the music, he could not help beginning to dance, and when he had danced a while, the thing pleased him so well that he said to the little tailor,
"Oh, hey, is the fiddle heavy?"
"Light enough for a child. Look, with the left hand I lay my fingers on it, and with the right I stroke it with the bow, and then it goes merrily hop sa sa vi valalera."
"So,"
said the bear,
"fiddling is a thing I should like to understand too, that I might dance whenever I had a fancy. What do you think of that? Will you give me lessons?"
"With all my heart," said the tailor, "if you have a talent for it. But just let me see your claws. Yikes! They are terribly long, which will make it hard for you to play the violin. I must cut your nails a little." Then he asked for a vise to be brought, and the bear put his claws in it, and the little tailor closed the vise as tightly as he could and said, "Now wait until I come with the scissors." Now the vise was very, very heavy, and the bear could not get his paws out, so the bear was neatly trapped by the tailor. He let the bear growl as he liked, and he lay down in the corner on a bundle of straw and fell asleep. When the princess heard the bear growling so fiercely during the night, she believed nothing else but that he was growling for joy, and he had made an end of the tailor. In the morning she arose careless and happy, but when she peeped into the stable, the tailor stood gaily before her and was as healthy as a fish in water. Now, she could not say another word against the wedding because she had given a promise before everyone. And the king ordered a carriage to be brought in, which she was to drive to church with the tailor, and there she was to be married. When the princess and the little tailor had climbed into the carriage, the two other tailors, who had false hearts and envied him his good fortune, went into the stable and unclamped the bear from the vise. The bear, who by now was really mad, ran after the carriage. The princess heard him snorting and growling. She was terrified and she cried, "Ah! The bear is behind us and wants to get you!" The tailor was quick and stood on his head, stuck his legs out of the window, and cried, "Do you see the vise? If you do not go away, you will be put into it again." Now, for some reason that I don't quite understand, when the bear saw the tailor's legs sticking out of the window and heard his voice threatening him, he turned around and ran away. Maybe he thought the tailor's legs were the vice. Whatever the reason, once the bear was gone, the tailor and the princess drove quietly to the church, and the princess was married to him at once, and he lived with her as happy as a woodlark. And that is the story of the cunning little tailor. And I promise you that every word in this story is true. Whoa! That was scary. I thought that bear was going to catch up with him. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad that had a happy ending. All right. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. The Cunning Little Tailor. And I, again, have no idea what I'm going to do next week, but it'll be something good. All right. And you're going to have a new cousin next week. So maybe I'll have to do a story for both of you. All right. Anyway, I love you, James. And you be good for your parents. And I will talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye for now.